Hey guys, I just want to make a quick video to show how I did my double DIN conversion in my 94 SN95. I get a lot of questions on how I did this. I just answered a guy on my Instagram page, so I figured I would show everybody how I did this because I have to replace my mic anyway. So you have your 9901 piece that snaps in there. When you snap it off, what I did was, if you see around here, there's a trim ring that has tabs down at the bottom. That trim ring setup is an actual double DIN mounting kit for my Mountaineer. All 90s, 2000s Ford vehicles all had pretty much the same kit. So instead of buying another kit, I just took the double DIN out of my Mountaineer and stole the kit from this. The other thing you have to do, if you can see, I kind of a little rough job, but it all gets hidden. There's tabs that comes out here for the stock radio. You got to cut those tabs off on both sides. Again, not sure how good you can see that in here, but you got to do a little bit of grinding, because once you push the radio back, this mounting kit needs a little bit more room to slide back in there. And not only that, on these, on the double DIN kit, you see you have those metal tabs that snap in, and these things, if you don't grind enough down, what's going to happen is, and mine still doesn't fit 100%, but if you don't grind that down, this will not sit flat in the dash. And you'll see when it's all together, and mine's a little off center right now because I was screwing around with it. I got to remove it tonight, put a new mic in because my mic wire got fucked up. But you'll see that's pretty much how it sits when it's in there. Pop that off. And I'm doing this one-handed. Pop that off, and again, that is that's what you see there. Now the other thing you have to do, you have to support the radio at the bottom of in some nature. I just used what I had sitting around the shop. So I had this stuff I used to use back in the day for back strapping in the back of head units. So in the back of the head unit, sometimes you have a bolt coming out the back. We put this stuff in here and just bolt to the back, so that way, you know, people try and pull on your head unit to steal it. You get a little bit of snag, they can't get it also, so your CD's not skipping when you're driving down the road and hitting bumps and shit like that. So I had that stuff's a little flimsy, so I actually took, and again, I'm not sure you're gonna be able to see it, but I cut like 3 or 4 strips of this stuff. I electrical taped it around, made it stiff, because there is a couple layers of this, so it actually does hold in pretty good. And I cut it a little bit longer than what this distance is here, and you can see I bent it in, you know, kind of like an L bracket on both sides. And what I did is I took a self-tapping screw on each side of the head unit on that strap and bolted it in each side. So this head unit is not going anywhere, and you can see the kit that I used. I actually screwed that kit with self-tapping screws also into the strap, so the head unit isn't really going anywhere. You can see it looks flimsy there, but it's not going anywhere. I got another video of it out to show you how much shit I had to cut out in there, but I do get asked a lot of questions on how I did this, so I figured I'd share my experience. I'll be back in a minute with the unit out, because I can't undrill it with one hand and hold the phone in the other hand. I learned that lesson already, and I had a head unit flop down and hit that and actually shatter the screen of my head unit. This one's like a $700 or $800 head unit, so I do not want to do that again. I'll be back in a few. Alright, we're back. So I popped out the 2 screws, and you can see what happens. The unit falls down. So you have to have a brace in there of some sort. Again, the double DIN unit might hold up possibly the weight to it, but you definitely want something to be able to hold this in place. We're going to put the car in gear to get this back a little bit. And I do not have a Mach 1 system, or the Mach 460 system, so my setup was quite a bit easier to do. You see my wires in the back, my wire harness. Let's see if I can pull this out without fucking anything up too bad here. Alright, so you can see the mounting kit. Again, it's a simple Metro mounting kit. I don't remember the part number, but they're pretty universal for all the Fords back in the 90s and 2000s at the least. You can see screwed in the unit to the side, or screwed in the Metro unit to the sides of the head unit, holds out in place. bolts on there, and then there into place. Again, simple Metra wiring harness setup in here. Going to the speakers, power, ground, yada yada yada. Again, I didn't have a Mach 460 setup, so mine was significantly easier. Not sure how much you guys can see, but right here, you can see where it's a little bit crooked. It went straight down, and there were, very cool, there were tabs that came out where the stock radio bolted into. You gotta zip those tabs off on both sides, and you'll see they're cut at an angle. And again, the reason why I did that, you can see where part of the double DIN faceplate snaps into here, but you also got some other snaps in here, so you have to take off a lot of extra material down here, or else the unit sits out a little bit and doesn't snap back flush in. So you can see there was a metal bracket back here too, if I recall, and that did have to come out as well. And you can see, I mean, there's a lot of space in there. You fit all kinds of shit in there. I had, actually I still do, you can't see it because the lighting's bad in here, but I have my Ford Racing speed controller, the speedometer controller down there. This is what it looks like. This is where your vents are. You can see some wires kind of hanging down here because I tucked them on top of the vent for my boost and fuel pressure gauge here. But I gotta get this unplugged. I gotta get my, I have to get my mic plugged back in. I have a mic up here for Siri controls for CarPlay, and some reason I got messed up, so I got another mic somewhere in here. Got another mic here to try from Pioneer. Hopefully that fixes my problem, because I like to just do navigation on the fly without having to stop and type stuff in and do my respond to text messages and stuff like that. So I will come back in a few and we'll test this out. Alright, so I got my mic placed. Back in. I decided to do it right there in front of the gauge cluster instead of up here. I ran it up here last time, and something must have kinked it up there where it frayed the wire, and it went down back through the dash. I must have kinked it, so it was a little bit easier to route it up through here. Hopefully Siri can still hear me because my car is loud. Ran it back through behind this ring and down through the dash. Tucked it up behind there good. Again, you can see the double DIN unit is a little bit more straighter. Went back into the bolt holes on the sides. And got a bunch of my wires tucked out. It's for the lighter. Never use it. Ford controller's tucked back up there. Double DIN unit. You'll see should snap back into place. And okay, went nice and flush. Shifter bezel will go back on here. Sorry, this is not ideal to do this with one hand. Okay, shifter bezel back on. Status shifter. Back on. Alright, so now you're going to see the unit light up. This is the Pioneer App Radio 4. Hopefully Siri works while I'm on the phone, or while I'm recording. And shit, it won't, because I have to plug it in. Alright, so apparently I cannot do CarPlay while the phone is recording. I don't have another camera yet. I'm bidding on one on eBay, so hopefully I can get some better videos later. But now you can see how I did my double DIN. You can see my magnet thing. I am able to keep the phone stuck to that under full boost pulls, and it does hold. We'll see if it'll still record and play. I think this is an iPhone thing. For some reason, Bluetooth is kind of shit and kind of flaky on us sometimes. Yeah, it's probably not going to play because I'm recording. I'll try and get a better video next time. But now you can see how it's hooked up, so people can leave me alone on how I have mine done. And enjoy.